So even when the transfer window has ended, still Chelsea are still signing. They've signed somebody else again. Even when the transfer window yeah closing on, still Chelsea has finalized and signed a new player at Chelsea Football Club. Wow. See, welcome. I am Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, the best place for football tactical analysis on the field, off the field, all of those things I have, and I will get all the analysis now every hour. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, turn on notification, in the notification turn and do choose all. I've said it several times. This is your best place for everything football. When it's about watching the game and understanding and enjoying it here. When it's about um, analyzing the game on the field, it's here. When it's about analyzing the game off the field, when it's about consistent updates of the game, also it is here. Thank you very much for choosing us consistently. Also, by but it's also about winning or bet whilst you watch the games. If you want to win, if you want to enjoy the games and win bets and stuff like that, it's also here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. You don't get it anywhere than it is from here. Last night during the day, we had an 11 called boom. And then also in the evening, because of the South American Community and other World Cups qualifiers that were going on at dawn, if you're in Ghana or if you're in Africa, we also put up quotes again. When we woke up, it has boomed again. Which other place do you get it than here at Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube? Don't forget that 2 days ago we did boom, 3 days ago we did boom and boomed again twice in a row. This morning, the quotes are right there in the description of the video below. Right there in the description of the video below. Go up, pick up the codes, put them in your Betway app, and give yourself a big chance of winning something. You just keep on winning here at Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It does not get any better than it is here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So make sure that you quickly pick up the codes, you subscribe to the channel, and then put them in your Betway code and make sure that you win something over here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, if you can see the social media handles down there, go on the various social media handles, pick them up because sometimes because the games are late in the night and there's no video. If you are just on YouTube, you won't see. So we put them up also on the various social media handles so that you can enjoy and have some money into your pockets as well here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. As we do, let's say a big thank you to the two people who have made this show a huge possibility. First off, Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. And trust me, if really it's about car, if it's about car spare parts, then there's no place for you. It's Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop that you have to go to. If you are in a car, Maboso Post Office, and the big man himself is right there. If you are in a car and you want your car fixed, what you have to do is that just take your car, take it to Yesumo. He's at Abosokan Post Office. That is where he and his team are. They'll take very good care of you. They'll fix the car solid. They'll give you the best brand of the car spare part. They'll put it inside, and your car is going to look very clean and dapper for Yesumo Spare Part Dealership. If you are not in Accra, what you have to do is that he does the nationwide delivery. Whether you are not in Accra or you are close in the countries close to us, he'll send those stuff to you. Call him on 0593138221. 0593138221. Call Yesumo today and trust me, the business is going to grow. Trust me, the car is going to look good at Yesumo Spare Part Dealership Shop. Of course, if you want clothing, if you want apparel, you want to look good, you want to look dapper, you want shirts, you want top, you want shoes, you want slippers, you want to look clean as a guy, then the best place for you to go is MOB Clothing. MOB Clothing. What MOB does for you is one of the best that you can see in terms of understanding how you want things to do, how you want people to look clean with their shirts, their tops, wherever you want to go. MOB got you covered over there as well. So if you need anything like that, they are at Tudu, the flower station at Tudu. Of course, once you go there, ask of MOB Clothing. Gerard and his mom will take very good care of you. Of course, if you're not close to a car, they do the delivery as well. 0200 is the number 6087 no 668708 0200 668708. That is the MOB Clothing number. Pick it up right now. Go to Abosokai, go to Tudu, the flower station thereabouts, and make sure that MOB Clothing and the team over there will take very, very good care of you over there. Last night, Chelsea made history. In fact, another record has fallen down. See, because of Chelsea's transfer policy and how Chelsea won a business in team, they have landed South America's biggest talent at age 18. Like, essentially, this talent should have been in Spain, or yeah, in Spain most likely, or at the very least, before in the transfer market, such talent, some of Brazil, Eba, they go towards maybe Portugal before they come to mainland in Europe, sometimes in Spain because of adaptation, acclimatization, and stuff like that. And I said something the last time. Say what Chelsea, Todd Bowley, and Baghdad the Gbali realized when they bought the club was that now they see transfers not just as a means of just bringing players to the team to come and play football. And that's what a lot of Chelsea fans don't get. I get Chelsea fans that say that aren't Chelsea becoming a selling club or Chelsea becoming a club based on business? But who said you can't do both? Who said you can't do business and also bring a team that will be competitive and win? And that's what these guys are saying that they want to do. For them, it's really about bringing in a lot of players in because at some point in time, these guys become assets. Now, I mean, it's business, and the players that play football understand that when they bring you in and you can't compete because it's about talent, it's about the best of the lot. Once they bring you, you can't compete, then you become an asset and they need to sell. Now, because of PSR and then financial fair play and all of these things, one of the things that has become very imperative for the clubs, and it's you need to be able to make sure say every time your books are balanced. And all the ways that Chelsea feel like they can circumvent and navigate that, balance their books every time, is constantly selling. So every time you'll be able to bring in a player, oh, this player, yeah, he's not good enough. He can't make it to the 18. You sell, you get your money. And that is the thing. I think that with time, I think Chelsea have changed the transfer window. Chelsea have changed the transfer window. Like they've made a transfer window in a way that we had never seen before. In a way that all of us have never expected a transfer window to be like that. Because for you to make that much profit from one summer, 300 million plus in terms of how much we're able to sell. And I think that the net is in the positive about 18 million thereabouts in terms of the profit when you subtract the expenditure from. That is huge. That is like top level staff management in terms of bringing in money. But nobody again can also tell me that that team that is there from the sporting perspective is not good enough to compete. Nobody again can also tell me that that team that is there is not good enough to be able to compete or play. They don't have quality in the team. So they have been able to bring in quality. But in the same vein, they have also been able to sell to make good money. And I feel like with time, a lot of clubs, a lot of teams, both in English Premier League and generally in Europe, are going to learn from what Todd Bowley and Baghdad the Gbali have done their stuff. Like they are really, really going to learn. They are really going to learn from how he has managed and then navigated the transfer window. Because see, this was not done. There is no way in the conversation of European football where a club has been able to do this much business in that regard. And if you want to talk about the quality and then the top level of talents that they've been able to bring in now, yesterday, Brazil played against Chile, right? In a very crunch game, big game, a game where Brazil needed to win. They played at home, World Cup qualifier. Brazil want to go to World Cup 26. They want to go far. They brought in a certain Carlo Ancelotti, who is European and experienced in managing younger European players, managing egos, managing talented players at Madrid, at Chelsea, at AC Milan. He is known. He is a big name in that regard. So they bring him in and say, okay, Carlo, this is the job that we want you to do for us. Come and do this job for us. Please relax and then do the job for us. Then everybody says, fine. Carlo will go ahead and do the job. Carlo goes in, starts to do the job over there at Brazil. And they play in that game, starting a young Estevão Willian. I mean, in fact, the records say that he is one of the youngest players to play for Brazil at that very young age. And yesterday, there was an interview of Joao Pedro. And I said, Estevão Willian, the talent is too much. To the extent, say, one time, no more training. Then tossing another beer about kinds of Charlie. Estevão boy only Bobo Pau. Charlie looks like the boy is too good. And tossing it, and I Joao Pedro catcher tossing say, yeah, he's solid. Tossing a catcher and say, for you to be able to play for the Brazilian national team at 18, then the boy is going to be like, he's going to be a top player. I don't say he's just like Vinicius Jr. because also Bobo for the Brazilian national team at 18. So that is good stuff for Estevão Willian and the quality that he has he has talent. But Joao Pedro goes on to add, said, Although he has a lot of talent, a lot of quality in the kind of football now, but and some of the ways of the European ways of training and playing the game, it's a little bit alien to him. Like on Shedan understanding. So he saying that Anna Chelsea follow a long training. And in that long training on Bay, and according to Joao Pedro, Anna and Wamano in Brazil, they don't train for that long because these are talents, Konoa Bonaco baby. They don't train for that long. It's almost training Anna say Chesana, Anwa break. And after training at Chelsea, players now almost physically bulked up, and especially new players now. Anna Chelsea for more gym because more gym program for players maybe how you new for South America, but that's why you're slim. They take you back to the gym to go and work hard over there. So that's the thing. I say one moment to be retraining. Now Esteva our bread. Then Esteva was going to the gym also our bread. Then Andre Santos, Joao Pedro, because is now chief Premier League, more physical. So for you to be able to thrive here, I say with me a gym work, then they pushing there, supporting for you to go. See, one of the things that again I've said this is something people usually have overlooked it. It's the importance of Chelsea bringing in players from different parts of the world. So almost every team there, every country that Chelsea have players in, they have at least two. Almost every country. I think the only place where they have just one player is in the Netherlands, who is in Europe. But almost everywhere they have two players. And most especially, the importance of Estevao Willian having South Americans first and also Brazilians who understand him and help him and push him, especially players who have already been in Europe for a season or two before, especially for Joao Pedro. He has been in Europe for a very long time. To give him the chance to be able to go, give him the ability to teach him on the job to get a job. And now he scored a very first goal in that game, for Brazil in the opening minutes of the game. And everywhere in Brazil, everybody, in fact, in the first half, he was the best player. He was the best player. Best player for Chelsea, for Team My Friend, the Seleção of Brazil or one of, and he breaks into Brazil's top 10 youngest ever scorers. Solid company. Pele Eshe Nigo at age 16 years, 257 days. Edu 16 years. Ronaldo 17 years. Endrick Ramirez 17 years. Coutinho 17 years. Carvalho Liete 18 years. Marcelo 18 years. Estevao 18 years. Diego 18 years. Neymar 18 years. And of course, Alexander Pato, he is the youngest ever Brazilian to be able to score a goal in a non-friendly match. This is a World Cup qualifier. So it's a competitive game. Estevao is the youngest player to score for Brazil in a competitive match since Pele. All of those people that played against them, they were all scoring in either friendly games and stuff like that. This is a competitive game since Pele. Abrante Estevao Leon. He's the youngest Brazilian to go. And this tells you the magnitude of the talents that Chelsea have gotten. All because of smart transfer dealings. All because of saying that we don't want to just stay in Europe and find players be Waha and there, and then players somebody 25, 26, 27 to put them together and hope that they win something for us. No. According to them, the plan is that let's just cast our net wide. And I remember when this Estevao conversation started. See, the person that brokered this deal was part of the agency that handled the affairs of former Barcelona player, what's the name? Oh, I've forgotten this guy's name. Victor Roque. It is Andre Curry. Now, Andre Curry had some ties and agreements with Football Club Barcelona. And almost every time, his job was to bring the best talents, let Barcelona know the best talent from them. And then Omar couldn't come, and then they convinced them to come. And it's in the same team that Andre Curry, Victor Roque was in. That's where Estevao was. Victor Roque was in Palmeiras. Estevao was in Palmeiras. And when Chelsea came in, they decided to also contract Abrante friend Andre Curry. And Andre Curry said, okay, fine, I'll do that job for you. He went into the hinterlands and then found Abrante friend Estevao Willian. Told Chelsea because he had an issue with Barcelona for now. And clean swoop because they were willing to go to South America, bring in this players without averting the risk. Ideally, this talent would have been in the Spanish La Liga or, in the Portuguese league to at least transit before he gets into mainstream Europe. But then at best, he could have been in Spanish La Liga in Spain, whether wearing the white of Madrid or wearing the Blaugrana jersey of Barcelona. That is exactly what we are talking about. And no, Estevao Willian made history. I'm not sure the first goal, and it was such a super goal, bicycle kick from Mr. William L. Honham, and that's it over there. Official Brazil have qualified for the World Cup 2026, and now after that win, and can you imagine? Say, after the game, the man of the match against Chile was Brazil's very own Estevão Willian, and quality from all plays over there for him. Played some good football. He was solid also in terms of the football over Fiifi-Manfred, and that's exactly how Brazil wanna getting the job done, making sure say at the end of the day they qualify, play some good football, and then stamp the authority in everything that they are beginning to do. It's a lot of positives, and we see how things are going to go on from there. Chelsea for as it stands now, still front shirt sponsors and seminar. I know that a lot of people have been asking. There are still 2 or 3 companies who are still fighting and competitively trying to convince Chelsea that they are the best people for Chelsea to choose in the front shirt sponsorship conversation, as it stands now. Yeah, I think that there are about 2 companies that are still going in there and they are trying to push it over there. In terms of England, there, the team with the front shirt sponsor, I think it is Manchester United. But Chelsea, I believe that they'll be able to get a deal that is better than that. And the brief that came was that the club is aiming to strike a deal for 60 to 65 million per season, following the qualification for UEFA Champions League and winning the Club World Cup. 65 million per season for Chelsea. For Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Manchester United, and the top 3 in England. Like I said, it is Manchester United, and the ties against the front sponsor deal around 70 million euros per season, which is very, very good. Emirates, Spotify, and Snapdragon, respectively. That is the money that these clubs are giving them over there. This is how we'll continue hearing. Of course, my word, is there anyone as Charlie? It's very, very interesting with respect to how Chelsea for Aaron Omonioman. The owners should not take it too far. The funds responded as soon as possible, especially when the league is already lightening up. Chelsea should make sure that they bring one. And I know that a lot of fans have been asking of it, but like I said, Chelsea wants to make sure that they get the best value for money deal. Also, have front shirt sponsorship conversation. I told you, say Chelsea for now sign somebody. See, will be a year transfer window. And then I get notification again that Chelsea have signed somebody. I'm like, how? How is it possible? Say Chelsea for now have signed somebody when the transfer window has ended. I was shocked. Morning. It's for the Chelsea women's team. And so, what follow Chelsea Martina, Lauren James, and Maria Ramirez, Emilio Nyepra. So these 2 players from Prana, Chelsea have now had to go into the market to bring in another person. And Todd Boehly seems to be getting the best. He's one of the best teams, the best national teams in football is a United Nations team, United USA women's team, USWM team. I'm going to be the best team, one of the best teams in the world. And what Todd Boehly is doing is that some of the best teams are United States on the team. He goes there and they are bringing them in. And then now, Chelsea reached an agreement verbal with Angel City to sign Alisa Thompson, the deal for the 20-year-old winger worth under £1 million. Emmanuel Bonana's scanning is about £1 million. Medical done and personal terms in place for a 5-year contract for the USWNT international over there for Chelsea. And that was a deadline day switch for Chelsea for now. They made sure they get the woman that they wanted over there into their team. And like I said, Lauren James, Epra. So they needed to make sure they bring in Abrantia, they bring in Ababawa, your friend Alisa Thompson into the team for her to add the quality that Chelsea have always wanted to get on the team. That is done. Chelsea have reached a verbal agreement with Angel City for a new player. Something that seems to be very, very huge part for Chelsea Football Club in terms of bringing in that player to be able to compete for Sonia Bonpasteur as the season starts in the WSL. They want to make sure they are getting the quality of players that they want to bring into their team. Chelsea have added another quality to their team. Something that is seen to be very, very good. And it was such an emotional night for my brand here, your friend Lionel Messi and most of the Argentine players. For them, the FIFA World Cup 2026 is going to be the final one. And yesterday, after they qualified and played their last home game in the qualifiers, most of them believe our brand here, friend Lionel Messi, that is going to be his last game. And in the warm-ups, Messi was crying, was very emotional. You could tell there were tears in his eyes, knowing that our born the last game over there, it was such a huge one. In fact, he went onto the pitch, with a manner with all of his kids over there to go and say thank you to the fans of Argentina for supporting him, for guiding him, for seeing him through all through these days. And they finally make sure say he played the very last one was our game. And of course, Argentina did win, and Argentina for have also qualified to the World Cup. And it is very very interesting past seeing how Argentina for have qualified to the World Cup. The conversation in and around it, Brazil for also are qualified. Argentina would want to make sure say they go in and go and get a last win. Of course, Nicolas Otamendi also, and so SC he has played his last game for the Argentine national team. I want to say he has played the very last game for the Argentine, not the last game, the last World Cup qualifier for the Argentine national team. I mean, something that seems to be very, very good for Brentford for Nicolas Otamendi. I think he has been such a warrior for Argentina for almost every time that they've needed him. Nicolas Otamendi has stepped up and he has delivered for them. He has given them everything that they wanted as a country. I mean, play football and make sure say everything has gone on well over there. And that's why they are playing some good stuff for Argentina on because they have the quality of team all round, of course, led by Lionel Messi. We'll see how things are going to go on. Well, we'll see how things are going to go on. We'll see the conversation around the BBA because one and I'm sure so to say, Papa, your friend Daniel Levy, on my story, I'm chairman, and of course, it's because the owners of Tottenham actually say he's not done enough. He's not done enough to be able to become the next player, to be able to go on as a chairman of Tottenham Hotspur. After Somosaki, Ange Postecoglou, the owners have also let him go at Tottenham Hotspur. And of course, it means that Daniel Levy is not going to be the player. And Ranajo, what we are hearing about the contract extension of our brand here, the friend of Frankie de Jong, it's interesting. It looks as if say Barca are trying to reduce the contract of Frankie de Jong over there. And this morning, it's almost all out in all the papers. Spain, but first of Barcelona have terminated Oriol Romeo's contract on August 28th, but the club never officially announced that he's now a free agent looking for a new team. Of course, because once they terminate your contract, it means that they don't lose money. You also don't gain any money. Barca, in terms of players like Oriol Romeo, the longer they stay on and you pay them and you're not even certain of making your money back on, they'll rather not do it. So they'll rather let you go for free. And it's why the Raheem Sterling conversation here a little bit funnier with Chelsea because, I mean, a lot of clubs would have said, okay, let Raheem Sterling go for free. You can go on and do the things that you want to do. But the truth of the matter is that Chelsea feel like they can at least get something for him, even if it's just from loan fees. They'll do it, gather the money, and make sure say a brand friend Raheem Sterling can go for free. So we'll see how things are going to go on. Of course, and then in Mundo Deportivo, they say that without full effort, Spain if want to got a job done against Bulgaria, 3-0. Of course, Chelsea player friend Marc Cucurella was on the score sheet. What a good one for our friend Marc Cucurella. After the game, Marc Cucurella spoke about Lamine Yamal. He spoke about when Chelsea are going to meet them, or say Lamine Yamal I can't see the action, but on the own name, on the they'll play the football nicely, and he knows that at the end of the day it's going to be a tough game for both of them. He said it's not going to be easy for Chelsea, it's not going to be easy for also Barcelona. Frankie de Jong say Barca have offered Frankie de Jong a contract renewal with a salary reduction. Charlie, Barcelona, the club account because they see the player wants to stay over the club. Barcelona are playing with fire. I was like, they're confident that Frankie de Jong, and yeah, Frankie de Jong, we had a couple of years ago, he had to let go of a lot of money. Frankie Ankasa, he loved Barcelona. He loves Barcelona because I remember under Eric Ten Hag, Eric worked so hard in convincing Frankie de Jong to join him at Manchester United. It looks as if Frankie was never interested in the Eric Ten Hag conversation. In fact, he never even really listened to it. Almost every time, he was so emphatic and clear to everybody involved in the conversation, say, it is only Football Club Barcelona and no Frankie de Jong, not any other club in the world. It's only Barcelona and no Frankie de Jong. And Barca are pushing for Frankie de Jong's contract renewal, but an agreement has not been reached yet. Of course, Frankie de Jong and Chibiano and a girlfriend are welcoming on Moba. So definitely, he'll do some soul searching He'll sit down, he do some analysis and see if truly he has to go in there and sign that contract of reduced salary now. We'll see how things are going to go on over there. Of course, in front of sport, almost say Coleada para empezar, talking about the fact that trashing to start, and that is what is coming from sport forum in that huge game that they played, Spain for played against Bulgaria. I mean, interesting development. Lionel Messi and that game. I haven't made my decision about the next World Cup, given my age. It's logical that I won't make it to the next World Cup, but I will take it day by day, match by match. That is exactly what Lionel Messi can. Also, it's always a pleasure to play in Argentina. I've always received love in Barcelona, but I always dreamed of experiencing this year in Argentina with my people. Messi scored a brace against Venezuela in possibly his last game on Argentine soil over there. Of course, wearing the Argentine jersey over there. We'll see how things are going to go on for Lionel Messi. Messi starts, of course, against Venezuela, and he got a job done. Of course, Argentina for one year. I think that Lionel Messi, like we've been saying, hasn't gotten that much love as you would expect him to be getting most of the times when he played but you see how things are going to go on over there. Barca intensified contract talks with captains and Entourage for contract renewal. I mean, contract renewal again over there for Brantia, your friend, Frankie de Jong. So that's the way Football Club Barcelona. What's going on now? Real Madrid in the conversation around them. So now Franco Mastantuano was right there in the mix of the conversation. He played for them. Federico Valverde captained Uruguay for them. Also, of course, Antonio Rudiger played against team my friend in Germany, but it didn't go on well for him or for them team. I mean, the international games also have gone on, very, very interesting games now. So all across Europe and South America, like I told you, and now we boomed over here. And today the codes are right in the description of the video. If you've not seen the codes, go and pick them up and give yourself a good chance of winning something over there. We'll see the difference in this game is his previous start against Ecuador, his confidence and freedom of movement and an expression. He played freely here and was trying things, and I think that's very cheap. If you watch that game, you can clearly tell that Abrantia, your friend Estaval William, was very free, played with a lot of freedom. And again, I think that's what you get when you play in a top league against world-class players, and then you've won 2 games out of your 3 in very tough games where you have managers that have also platformed you well and give you all the information that you need. I think it's important over there. Of course, McGill was giving assurances that he will be handed game time in the coming weeks and he should prove to be a constant. Let him prove how bad he wants to be here. Of course, in terms of potential, everybody knows this. Clubs are running operating losses, require player sales to improve their bottom line. Chelsea have done it for years. Man City too. Selling numbers of your squad represent an immediate boost for financials. Of course, everybody knows this. Even me, who's an accountant, know that one of the best assets that you can let go to boost. And that's why I keep on saying that I was surprised by how Barca ran the transfer markets when they didn't really sell enough. I mean, with the amount of money Barca needs, you need to make sales, and sales have to come from player sales. It's one of the best ways to go about it. And I mean, I think that Todd Bowley and Baghdad Bali have changed things. If Barca don't sell players or go quickly to the Spotify camp, no, it's going to be very, very difficult. Clubs are turning to the player trading model long pioneered and more recently supercharged by Chelsea. They led the way in the 294 million in sales in this summer, an amount only previously surpassed by Monaco in 2018 when they sold Mbappe in that regard. Of course, Chelsea have made sure that they've done proper player sales in that regard. We'll see how things are going to go. And Chelsea rejected offers from clubs to buy McGee permanently, but he was encouraged to go on loan. He could get game time if things go on well, of course. That is it with Abratia, your friend McGee at Chelsea Football Club. Guys, let me draw the curtain here. Good morning on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Not subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, turn on notification, notification turn it. You choose all. Take care. Bye.